thanks for tuning in. Thought I'd start filming this from a pretty iconic location here in Sydney, the Sydney Opera House, on a beautiful sunny day. So the album is called Songs from the Present Day. It's a follow-up to our album which was called Run to the Future. Run to the Future was, I guess, a positive album. It was written during the pandemic, and it was kind of about being in a bit of a dark place, but if we went to the future, everything would be bigger and better and brighter. But now that we're in the present day, things aren't so great, I think, and the songs are a bit of a reflection on that. So they touch on subjects such as, addiction, losing my mind, days of sin, just to name a few. So I guess, first of all, I'm so happy to have been able to create a second album. I think I've written about 20 songs in 2 years, which I never thought I would have done ever. So I'm really, really grateful to have achieved that, and really proud of this second album especially. I made it. Now let's see if I can find Alessandro. Reality TV. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. You?
No. Wanted to be somewhere else. Instead, Songs from the Present Day is more about now. There are a lot of songs such as Losing My Mind or Waiting for a Revolution, Addictions, that talk about the problems that we're facing today in our society.
Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm going, don't know where, but I feel electric. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm going, don't know where, but I feel electric.
First song on the album is called Electric. It was the last song that we actually finished, and we thought we'd put it first on the album just to start the album with a bang. And it opens up with the line, "Do you really think that we're good inside all the time?" Basically, as humans, even good people, I think, can get to a point, can get to breaking point where perhaps maybe they do things that aren't good, and that's what that song explores.
Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm going, don't know where, but I feel electric. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm going, don't know where, but I feel electric. These addictions make me run away. These addictions make me insane. And temptation makes me go astray. 'Cause my soul is burning down again. These addictions make me run away.
It's called Songs from the Present Day because I guess the topics are very relevant to today's society. The second song on the album, Addictions, I guess talks about the fact that addictions are, one of the lines of the song is that the addictions are pretty much at our fingertips, and it doesn't have to be necessarily about drugs and alcohol. I guess if you're an addict and you're carrying around a phone in your pocket, it can be dangerous, I think, Think about people with a gambling addiction nowadays don't really have to go to a casino. They can gamble online.
Addictions è un altro pezzo che mi piace molto, perché io ho molte addictions e tante cose e tanti testi mi ritrovo in me stesso. Addictions, I lose my mind e when we were young. Quello è un gran pezzo.
Waiting for a Revolution is a song, I think, that I guess that we're at a point now in the world where I think something needs to change. I think someone needs to hit the reset button. I don't know how that's going to be able to happen. I don't have all the answers, but at some point I think we're getting to a breaking point where you know, maybe someday everything will change, but right now we're waiting for a revolution, just to quote the lyrics of the song. The video was filmed in Italy. We're sort of outside of the studio where we were rehearsing for our Live in Italy performance that we did, and right next to a factory. And again, you know, you don't need a fancy location to make a video. You could just make a video anywhere as long as there's an idea behind it. We decided to walk up and down that factory and do that video for Waiting for Revolution.
Falls apart, and we're caught in the middle. Maybe one day everything will change, but now we're waiting for revolution.
No, ma quando abbiamo fatto Waiting for Revolution, ti piace? No, ti piace perché? Perché è un pezzo che tira, un pezzo che
Attira il giro!
un pezzo che quando soprattutto già lo ascolti ti piace, se poi lo suoni te ne innamori. Invece Days of Sin is a song about the struggles of a sex worker. It's a song that I wrote when I was in my 20s. And I've always been fascinated with storytelling, and I guess it was inspired by songs such as Sade and Tina Turner. They've written about similar topics. And yeah, so I went through a bit of writer's block at some stage, and I thought that given that the title of the album is Songs from the Present Day, that it would fit with the theme of the rest of the album. The Things You Do is a song that was written a few years ago actually. It kind of just sat there doing nothing for a while. We did a very cool video when I was over in Italy only 3 weeks ago, and can't wait to show you that video actually. Non ho beccato una giusta. Oh. E invece
Bravo!
The Things You Do, il video che abbiamo fatto oggi,
È un video, è un pezzo psichedelico, che sarà un video psichedelico.
perché gira...
Non lo dire, non lo raccontare.
Secondo me è un pezzo che piacerà molto, è orecchiato.
E poi ti acchiappa subito il beat.
Mi va nella testa, il video è
Vedere, cioè non si vede tanto spesso.
no, il video è
così,
pensato bene.
Sì.
Wallflower was a song that was co-written with a friend of ours called Pat Frazina, who lives not far from where I live. And he basically gave me the basic structure of the song just on an acoustic guitar with some lyrics. And I got the song, I finished the lyrics and gave the song a bit of a structure and did the whole production on that. And I think sonically it just sounds really modern and big, and very happy with how Wallflower turned out. Got a bit of radio play as well. It was #1 on a radio station called Hawkesbury Radio here in Australia. It was #1 for 6 weeks in a row, which we thought was pretty cool.
Maybe tomorrow, someday in June, even a wallflower one day will bloom.
Maybe tomorrow.
No, è un pezzo che pur non essendo farina del nostro sacco, secondo me ha stato un pezzo. Non era un pezzo che era nato dai ripetitivi, però c'è molto di ripetitivi.
Not bad for a winter's day, hey? Losing My Mind was a song that I wrote a few years ago. Another one that kind of I just sat there as a demo for a long time. It was written when I was going through some stuff. And one of the lines in the song is, these are the things that keep me up at night. I guess, you know, when you're laying in bed thinking about your day, often that happens. And, you know, I like to put things in the song when I can and write about things that hopefully other people can relate to as well. And the thing about my songs is that they're very open to interpretation for a reason, so that the listener can sort of interpret it the way that they want to.
My Mind è un pezzo che mi piace molto e mi piace molto anche suonare.
Perché? Perché ti piace Losing My Mind?
Perché mi ricorda me stesso, tante volte io I lose my mind. I forget everything.
Someone should be paying me to promote Australia, I think. Getting tourists over here. Another Day, Another Night is possibly the fastest song that I've ever written. I think I wrote it literally in 10-15 minutes. The acoustic guitar is played by my son Sam. Thank you, Sam. It's probably cringy watching this, but anyway. It's a song about not wanting to do much. You know, in my life, I find that I'm always constantly having to be somewhere or having to do something, and that song is about wishing that you had nothing to do all day and all night and just staying in bed, which is very rare for me.
Moving on, miles away, to build a life, had to fly away. Moving on.
Miles Away From Home is a song that's very personal. I don't often write songs that are too personal. I don't really like writing about myself, but again, that song came about very quickly. The pen kind of the lyrics just kind of flowed, because I really did come back to live in Australia after I hadn't been here since I was a child, until I was in my mid-20s with not a lot of money in my pocket and plenty of dreams and aspirations, and also at a point where it was a bit difficult. You know, in those days we didn't really have social media, and Australia was a very, very far away place to go and live, and so it wasn't always easy, and I just wanted to sort of explain those lyrics in this melody that I had come up with.
Moving on, miles away, to build a life, had to fly away. Moving on to another place, am I going nowhere? Moving on, far away, to build my dreams, had to fly away. Moving on, miles away, but I won't be broken.
Ma come home non sento io, perché io non ho mai provato questa canzone, è una canzone più molto da
Vai!
Ti sembra di essere di Depeche Mode?
Aspetta, All Right in the End was a very fun video to make. We had this idea of doing it in a location just outside, like on the street, and then we had to actually change the location last minute because we were thinking of doing it cafe that unfortunately we weren't able to do that in. And but so it was kind of improvised on the street. I think a lot of people were kind of looking at us thinking that we were a bit crazy, but we just had fun with it. And I think when something is spontaneous, I think it kind of shows. And that's what we wanted to portray in that video. Hopefully it turned out all right.
So many things I know we can do without. No appreciation for everything we got. There's always something I'm going wrong. My head hurts if I think I could be wasting my time.
Che è successo? Credo, no!
Sì, pronto? No, non mi disturba affatto, dica.
No, magari si continua, no?
Quello è un pezzo pop da radio.
Troppo poco?
No, quello spacca.
Sì, sì.
Quello è proprio. Mamma
Sì,
mia.
veramente.
È pensato veramente bene.
Io quando mi manda questi coretti di questo qui, penso perché io sono rimasto nel parlare. Ecco il tono, un pezzo così, rimane
Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright in the end. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright in the end.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do feel blessed to have released a second album. I never thought that I would, honestly. And if you're going to ask me now whether there's going to be a third album, my answer will probably be no. It's a lot of work, but I know myself, and once I start getting ideas in my head again, I'm pretty confident that there's going to be a third sometime next year. Especially because I kind of wrote and recorded 2 albums without a proper studio setup. Every time I had to record something, I had to go and set myself up and then dismantle everything. And my goal is to get a room set up where I can just walk in and play music and instruments and sing. So if that happens, in theory, there should be a lot of music coming.